y'all. Welcome to my channel, Beautifully Lifted, lifting up beautiful souls. Hey, yes, I did come up with that, and yes, it is nice, and yes, I'm gonna continue to use it. So, thank you. Anyway, if you're watching this video, you already know by the title that this is just the little thoughts of Kay. Basically telling you how I got my 2.0 GPA in college, up to a 3.0 in one semester. So let me help you help yourself to getting your grades up, because you're not paying $20,000 plus to fail. If you are, you're in the wrong career. So let me help you. If you're coming to this video, then I know you're trying to do better. Let me just give you a little bit of background. I decided to go to a HBCU my first year. I went to Clark Atlanta University. Ain't no AUC without a CAU. Even though I didn't finish, I take a lot of pride from going to that school. Out of my entire college experience, that was legit the year that I learned so much. So much. Soaked in so much knowledge. My eyes opened to so many things, and I wish I would have stayed for that aspect, but my pockets were saying otherwise. I went to Clark, and I'm from Denver, Colorado. Pretty much this is what happened. I went off to school, found out I didn't have enough money to go to Clark. I was working all the time. I wasn't enjoying my experience, and there was a lot of stuff going on at home that I'm not going to get into detail in this video. That was really just impacting me. I had half hybrid, half in-person classes the first semester. I had no one there. There was an issue with my financial aid. There was so much stuff going on for my little 17, 18-year-old mind to handle by myself, miles away. I mean, I legit knew no one. No one. And I just went. And let me tell you, I chose Clark out of all of the schools I was accepted to, because I was accepted to a lot. I chose Clark because I loved their acceptance letter, and they made me feel welcome. But it was a good choice. But anyway, the first semester I did very poor. And everybody else was getting 4.0s and stuff. I'm like, what the hell? I'm thinking people flirting with me. No. So, this is how I got my GPA up, and then it dropped, and then I got it back up. Of course, it's easier to get your GPA up from one semester to another. If you've only had 2 semesters, it's not that hard. The more semesters you have to make up, the harder it gets. But it's not impossible, and let me help you, because I've helped several people. But I know how to do all of this. Like, I'm very resourceful. I'm someone who researches stuff, does calculations throughout the day, write things down. Like, that's just how my mind functions. And so this kind of stuff I'm actually pretty good at. Like, I could be a college advisor. Basically, what you will do is you will calculate how many credits you need to come back up with. So say, for instance, you had a class, a credit class, 3-credit class for, that's a C. You have a C, but you need a B minimum for a 3.0. A C is a 2.0, basically, if that makes sense. I'm trying to put it in context. You would pretty much need to get the same credit class and get an A or 2 A's to pick that up, if that makes sense. And they have a lot of GPA calculators on Google. Just input the information, get your transcript and stuff, and then do your anticipated class schedule to see what you will need to bring your score up. Like I said, if it is more semesters to catch up, it's more work that you would have to do. And I have a little bit more tips that I will do that I didn't do the first time around, but I did do the second time around, because my GPA did drop. So I got a 3.0. I think that semester was really good. The second semester, I got my stuff together. I was more focused. I was handling more things. I was taking more in-person classes because that was just me. I started doing this in my second school because I ended up transferring. But the first school, I didn't really talk to too many people about what I didn't go to upperclassmen for help. I didn't go for certain things. I did use certain tools that I struggled with, mathway.com. Don't tell everybody. Little tools like that kind of just helped me a little bit more when I was struggling. But basically all I did was I just made sure that I showed up to class, because it's really hard to fail when you go to class. I just made sure I went to class. Whenever I was struggling with something, I made sure I talked to my teacher. I know it seems like it's going above and beyond, but the more your teacher knows you, the better they are on pushing that 2.99 to a 3.0 versus keeping it at a 2.99. You know, so definitely befriend your teachers, befriend your classmates. If you have to miss class, you know, communicate. I mean, we're grown, you know, those are the basic stuff. But that's basically what I did the first time around, was just make sure that I got more B's and A's than I got C's from the last semester to make up. And I actually took a little bit more credits to push that up a little bit more. So if you take more classes to make up for the semester before, it kind of helps a little bit more. So that's how I got my 3.0 up. Not very detailed. I'm more of a person, if you're here, I can show you, I can coach you through it. But it gets harder the more semesters you have. So try to catch it sooner than later. My GPA ended up dropping again the next semester when I transferred schools, and the transfer and stuff was a little different. And it took me a few semesters to get it back up. I ended up actually losing one scholarship that I had just got because my GPA dropped to a 2.99 versus a 3.0. Stupid, I know. But that was my fault. Nobody was to blame but myself, because when you are 1 point away from getting what you're supposed to get, that's kind of failure on your part. Like, you could have just put that one little effort in, you know, or your teacher's just a jerk, but I could have put more effort in. Like, there was some assignments where I was like, oh, I'll just settle for that because it's whatever, it's still passing. You can't have that mindset when you're, you know, whatever. If I was to go back for my master's, I definitely will take it more serious. But how I got it back up the next time around was I definitely used the tools. Everybody has their own learning habits, their own things that they like, their own teachers that they love. And so what I did was I kind of tested out certain teachers, seeing what I liked, and then try to stick with them as much as I could. I also used ratemyprofessor.com. That site is very legit, and if you're trying to figure out if you need a class that you don't really use books, because I know that's one thing we college students had hated, was spending $500 on a book that we only opened twice. No, go to ratemyprofessor.com and see what people were saying, if you use the books or not, so that you can know if you need the book. RateMyProfessor.com is just more accurate, in my opinion. Everybody has their own. Definitely, I started utilizing those tools, the GPA calculators, RateMyProfessor.com, talking to other students, seeing what I like, what I don't like. If I saw that it was a class that I wasn't really feeling the first week or so, I try to hurry up and switch out into another class while you still could, without it being penalized from you. You don't want to withdraw. We all get to certain situations where it's like, either take a fail or withdraw, and both look horrible on your transcript. I have a few withdrawals on my transcript. I still graduated with a 3.0, but it happens. But try to avoid that by kind of prepping yourself, looking at the syllabus, seeing how well they follow it. Is it something that you can really deal with? And if not, go to a different teacher. Don't wait too long, too, because trying to get into another class is going to be harder, and catching up on whatever they've been in a week or so, it gets hectic. But that's what I did. I always talked to my advisors. I was really close with my advisors. I was close with financial aid. I was close with a lot of different things, people in the department. I was fortunate to have such a really great school that offered all of these resources. And your school does have resources. Use them. Talk to your RA. I was an RA, by the way. But talk to your RA, talk to your mentor, talk to your siblings, talk to everyone, and see what works for you. Everyone is different, but that's kind of how I got my GPA up, is by doing that and really communicating with my teacher. If I really didn't get anything, like I said, if you make a relationship with your teacher, they're more willing to kind of help you with your grade. So yeah, but that's kind of how I did it, and I calculated, and those calculators are very accurate. I think every university or college should have their own, so you can use those. They're more specific, like by your credits, by your grade, the type of point, your percentage, all of that. They're more accurate, at least UCCS's was. But you can also find a basic calculator online. It's real simple. And you just try to get more good grades versus bad grades, and you will get as close. But don't wait until the last minute to do it. Catch it ahead. I'm not a miracle worker, so let's be clear. Take extra classes. Like, I took pre-term classes, I took summer classes. Like, those classes, 2-week classes, you know, just get it over with and focus and get an A. RateMyProfessor.com. I hate to say it's a cheating way, but if you really need just those easy A's for some of the simple classes, go to RateMyProfessor.com and find an easy teacher. I mean, that's how some people got their grades up. It's not the recommendation, is not ideal, but it does help if you're really just focused on getting your grade up, especially for scholarships and stuff. But basically, that's all I did, was just try to use my resources. I wasn't your A1 student, but I tried to do better. And I got a 3.0 by the time I graduated.